Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Today we will look into the second lesson, Nutrition in Animals. In this lesson we will learn nutrition in humans, nutrition in ruminants. What are ruminants by the way? Cud chewing animals are called ruminants. Animals like cow, sheep, goat, buffalo, all these are ruminants. We will also learn nutrition in unicellular organisms. Organisms with only one cell, they are called unicellular organisms. Nutrition in animals, it involves these steps. They are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. You can see it all ends with TION, right? So it will be easy for you to memorize. The five steps are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. We will look into each of these in detail. Nutrition in humans. The first step involved is ingestion. That means the intake of food into our body. That is called ingestion. All of us know that this is happening with the help of our mouth. So inside mouth, what is there? Yes, we know that teeth is there, right? With the help of teeth, we'll cut our food, grind our food, and also chew our food. That means teeth help for breaking down of food. Other than teeth, what else is there inside mouth? Yes, tongue is also there. So what is the purpose of tongue? We know that there is a colorless liquid called saliva inside our mouth. Tongue helps to mix the saliva with food and also it helps for swallowing. Which are the different types of teeth in humans? This you have learned in your lower classes. Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Incisors, they are also called cutting teeth as they help us to cut our food. In this picture, you can see the arrangement of our teeth in upper jaw and as well as in lower jaw. So incisors are present in the front side of our mouth, right? So they are also called front teeth. Since they help for cutting food, they are called cutting teeth. Now these canines, they are found in the sides of our mouth. They are also very sharp and it helps to tear the food. So canines are called tearing teeth. Premolars, they have broad surfaces just like in the picture it is shown. It helps to chew and grind the food. Similarly, molars, they are mostly present in the back side of our mouth. So these premolars and molars, they help for grinding and chewing food. How many numbers of incisors are present in upper jaw? 4. Canines 2. Premolars 6 and molars 4. So all together in upper jaw we have 16 teeth. Similarly in the lower jaw as well as 16 teeth. That comes to a total of 32 teeth for an adult. Which are the sets of teeth in humans? Have you observed your younger sibling? Will a newborn baby have any teeth? Correct. The answer is no. The newborn baby will not have any teeth. So when the baby will start getting its first teeth? When the baby grows to 6 months or 8 months old, it starts getting its first teeth. This first set of teeth is called milk teeth or temporary teeth. When the baby grows to 3 years or 4 years old, it will have its complete set of milk teeth. The total number of milk teeth is 20. That means 10 in the upper jaw and 10 in the lower jaw. Why do we say that the milk teeth is temporary? Because when the child grows to 6 year old, it will start falling its milk teeth. So one after the other milk teeth will start falling and in its place permanent teeth will be replaced. And when the boy or girl grows to almost 16 or 18 years old, they will have their complete set of permanent teeth. So there are total number of 32 permanent teeth, 16 in the upper jaw and 16 in the lower jaw. So two sets of teeth for humans are milk teeth or temporary teeth. Total number is 20, and permanent teeth. Total number is 32. Can you identify this teeth? Which is that? Some of you got it? Some of you are still thinking, I guess. Here is a clue for you. Incisor, canine, premolar, molar. Which is that? Yes, it is a type of molar teeth. They are used for chewing the food, and they are very large back teeth. What will happen to the food once it has been ground and chewed by the teeth? Food has to be digested. What is digestion? The breaking down of food into simpler substances. It is called digestion. Human digestive system consists of digestive tract or alimentary canal along with the organs of digestive system. The organs of digestive system include salivary glands, food pipe, liver, stomach, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. Digestive tract or alimentary canal, it is a long tube starting from mouth to the anus. Organs of digestive system include salivary glands, stomach, gallbladder, liver, pancreas, small intestine, and large intestine. Let us look into each organ of digestive system. These organs produce digestive juices which help for the digestion of food. The process of digestion starts in the mouth. Inside the mouth, there is a colorless liquid called saliva. That saliva, it is secreted or produced by salivary glands. In the picture, you can see 3 salivary glands. This saliva contains a digestive juice called salivary amylase or ptyalin. With the help of this salivary amylase or ptyalin, whatever food we are eating, if the carbohydrate is there in that food, it is converted into sugar. That means the starch content present in carbohydrate, that is converted into sugar with the help of salivary amylase or ptyalin. It is the digestive juice present in the saliva. So you have to understand that starch is a complex substance and it will be break down into a simple substance called sugar. The saliva also makes the food slimy so that it can be easily swallowed. Once the food is swallowed, it reaches into a food pipe or esophagus. The food pipe is also called as esophagus. It is a long tube. Through this tube, food is going down. This walls of esophagus, it will contract and relax. Alternate. For every contraction, there will be a relaxation of the muscle and it will produce a wave-like movements. You might have seen when you go to the sea, you have seen the wave motion, right? Ups and downs. Similarly, contraction and relaxation of this food pipe, it will make movements called peristaltic movements. Those movements are called peristaltic movements, with the help of which food is going down and it reaches a J-shaped muscular organ called stomach. Next, the digestion of food happens in the stomach. The stomach, it is a J-shaped muscular bag-like organ. It is made up of muscles. It can also contract and relax. The stomach produces digestive juices called mucus, hydrochloric acid, and gastric juice. This mucus, it acts as a lining for the stomach. It protects the stomach. If there are too much gastric production, this mucus helps act as a protection. Hydrochloric acid, suppose we are eating food and in that food there are microorganisms like bacteria is there. Hydrochloric acid kills that bacteria. This gastric juice, it helps for the breaking down of proteins into amino acids. This is how digestion will happen in stomach. Proteins are complex molecules. They are broken down into simpler substances called amino acids with the help of gastric juice present in the stomach. Once the food has digested in stomach, where will it go next? Will it go to the liver? No. The semi-digested food called chyme, it passes into the small intestine. So from the stomach, food is directly, the semi-digested food is going to the small intestine. Then what is the role of liver in digestion? Liver, it is the largest gland present in the body. It is located in the upper part of stomach on the right hand side. Liver secretes a juice called bile juice. So this bile juice secreted by liver, it is first poured into gallbladder. From there, it will be released into the small intestine. Once the bile has been released into small intestine, it helps for breaking down of fats into fatty acids and glycerol. So whatever food we are eating, suppose oil and too much fatty content food we are eating means it has to be digested, right? That digestion is happening with the help of bile juice. Bile juice is secreted by liver and it will be released into the small intestine. Fats are converted to fatty acids and glycerol. Now, as we already told, there is a small organ called gallbladder. It is situated just below the liver. So, it does not produce any secretions, whereas it only stores the bile juice. Bile juice is produced by liver. Before releasing into small intestine, it will be stored in the gallbladder. Next organ in the digestive system is pancreas. It is a large cream-colored gland situated below the stomach. Pancreas produces a juice called pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice is also released into the small intestine. Pancreatic juice converts carbohydrates into sugar, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. So all these three digestions happen with the help of pancreatic juice, which is released into the small intestine. Next important organ in the digestive system is small intestine. Even though the name is small intestine, it is around 7.5 meters in length. That means your mother's saree is around 6 meter length. More than that, lengthier is small intestine, 7.5 meters, and it is highly coiled organ. It produces a juice called intestinal juice. Even though digestion happens in small intestine, the main function of small intestine is for absorption of nutrients. So with the help of intestinal juice, absorption of nutrients happens in the small intestine. Along with that, there are many finger-like projections called villi. These are present in the small intestine. Each villus has network of fine blood vessels. Nutrients are absorbed into the blood present in these blood vessels. This is how absorption happens in the small intestine. Let us try to understand how the substances are broken down during digestion with the help of digestive juices. Salivary glands present inside the mouth, it secretes a juice called saliva. Saliva helps for breaking down starch into sugar. Stomach, it is a J-shaped muscular organ. It secretes digestive juice, hydrochloric acid, and mucus. Digestive juice, also called as gastric juice, helps for breaking down proteins into amino acids. Liver. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes a juice called bile that is first poured into gallbladder. After that, it is released into small intestine. Inside the small intestine, bile converts fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Pancreas. It is a yellow colored organ. It secretes a juice called pancreatic juice, which is also released into the small intestine. Pancreatic juice helps for converting carbohydrates into sugar, protein into amino acids, and fat into fatty acids and glycerol. After absorption of water and minerals in the large intestine, that means mineral absorption and water absorption both happens in the large intestine. There is some part of food that cannot be digested by our body. That is called undigested food. It has to be removed out of our body. This undigested food, it becomes semi-solid. It is then stored in the rectum. Afterwards, it is removed through the opening called anus. So large intestine, it does not have any secretions, only excretion. That means removal of waste is happening, and it also helps for absorption of water. So students, we have come to an end of the process digestion. I hope it is very clear. Thank you.